Hello and welcome to AM Guitar with me, Anjay. Today I want to ask you a simple question. What's your biggest guitar related regret, gear regret? Something that you sold or didn't buy or whatever it might be. So I have one that I'll start with. I was at university in Cardiff 20 years ago. My amp had just died, little practice Watson thing, and saw in the back of a newspaper in the kind of the buy and sell ads a 100-watt amp for, I think it was about £100 or something. I thought, oh, that sounds good, I'll have that. There was a stack. So I went to this place just outside Cardiff and loaded it onto the back of the guy's van and took it to our house. And it was this enormous 4x12 cab that was almost as big as me, with this all-valve vintage Carlsborough head. And it was a 4-input job, and it had two completely separate channels. And the idea was originally you'd have had your bass guitar and your guitarist in there on the two different channels. And as I think back at it now, it sounded phenomenal. But of course, back then I didn't know what I was doing. So I had a Marshall Shredmaster, the second part of this story, an original big size box Marshall Shredmaster that would go into it to give me a distortion channel. And this thing was just loud and big, and I loved it. I then came to the end of the year and I couldn't really do anything with it. I couldn't bring it home from Cardiff, so I sold it. So the first part of the regret was that I had to sell this beautiful amp that at the time I didn't realise was as beautiful as I now know it was. The second part of the regret is that I sold it to a young guy, probably 14, and his dad. And he was a bit disappointed it didn't have any distortion. So I said, oh, I'll tell you what, I'll throw in this distortion pedal, the Marshall Shredmaster, that I'd had from new. So fast forward 20 years, and the Marshall Shredmaster is kind of the sound I've been trying to get for ages out of my amps and pedals and things. I've been desperate to get a tube amp and ended up with a Katana, which is great, I love, but I had all these things 20 years ago and got rid of them for various silly reasons. So, yeah, I think of the two, the Shredmaster is my biggest regret. You know, the original, I bought it for about 20 or 30 pounds at the time, and I think they're worth £200 or £300 now. So yeah, that's my biggest gear regret, I think, probably. What's yours? Let me know in the comments. I really want to get a conversation going. What is it that you've sold or you didn't buy when you should have done that you really now regret not having? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers.